My parents told me not to celebrate my daughter's graduation because my niece deserved the spotlight, so I walked away that night. A year later, their favorite granddaughter realized I built the life they always wanted, and my sister couldn't handle it. I need to get this off my chest because the past 16 months have been absolutely surreal, and I'm still processing everything that happened. This story starts at what should have been one of the proudest moments of my life, but instead became the night I finally understood where I stood in my own family. My daughter Emma graduated summa cum laude from UCLA in June 2024 with a degree in engineering. She'd worked her tail off for 4 years, maintained a 3.9 GPA while working part-time at a tech startup, and landed a dream job at SpaceX before she even walked across that stage. I was bursting with pride. My husband Derek and I had planned this beautiful dinner at her favorite restaurant in Santa Monica to celebrate right after the ceremony, invited my parents and my sister Victoria's family, and I'd even ordered a custom cake that cost more than I care to admit. 3 days before the graduation ceremony, my mother called. I could hear the tension in her voice before she even started talking. "Angelica, we need to discuss the graduation celebration," she said, using that careful tone she always employed when she was about to ask for something unreasonable. I was folding laundry at the time, phone tucked between my ear and shoulder. "What about it? Everything's already arranged, Mom. The reservation is confirmed for 8 people. There was a pause, a long one. Then she said, "Your father and I think it would be better if we kept things low-key this year. Maybe just a small family dinner at home instead of going out. Nothing too elaborate." My hands stopped moving. Low-key. Mom, Emma graduated with highest honors from one of the best engineering programs in the country. We've been planning this for months. Another pause. "It's just that Victoria is very sensitive right now. Amber didn't get into her top choice schools, and she's been struggling. Your father and I feel like having such an extravagant celebration for Emma might make Amber feel worse about her own situation." I actually laughed. I couldn't help it. The sound came out harsh and disbelieving. "You're asking me to downplay my daughter's incredible achievement because my niece didn't get into Stanford. Don't be dramatic, Angelica. We're not asking you to cancel anything. Just tone it down a little. Victoria suggested maybe we could do something nice for both girls together. Make it about both of them moving forward in life." "Amber graduated from high school and is going to community college," I said slowly, trying to keep my voice level. "Emma graduated from UCLA with job offers from 3 different aerospace companies. These aren't the same thing, Mom." My mother's voice went cold. "Amber is still your niece. She deserves to feel special too. Victoria has been through so much this year with the divorce, and Amber has been having a hard time. Is it really so much to ask that you be considerate of their feelings?" Something snapped inside me. 38 years of being the dependable daughter, the one who didn't cause problems, the one who quietly achieved things, while Victoria created drama that sucked up all the oxygen in every room. "Yes, actually, it is too much to ask." "Angelica?" "No, Mom. Emma worked incredibly hard for this. She earned this celebration, and she's going to have it exactly as planned. If that makes Victoria uncomfortable, she doesn't have to come." The silence on the other end was deafening. Finally, my mother said, "Your father and I won't be attending then. We can't in good conscience participate in something that would hurt Victoria and Amber. We won't be at the ceremony or the dinner." I felt like I'd been slapped. "You're choosing not to come to your granddaughter's college graduation because it might hurt Victoria's feelings. We're choosing to be fair to both our granddaughters," she corrected. "When you're ready to be reasonable about this, let us know." She hung up. I stood there in my laundry room, holding a half-folded towel, feeling like the floor had opened up beneath me. Derek found me 20 minutes later, still standing in the same spot. "What happened?" he asked, immediately concerned. I told him everything. His face went from confused to angry to absolutely furious in the span of about 2 minutes. "They're seriously boycotting Emma's graduation dinner because Amber didn't get into Stanford." "That's insane, Angelica. That's actually insane." The graduation ceremony itself was beautiful. Emma walked across that stage with her honors cords and that brilliant smile, and I cried happy tears, but there was an empty space where my parents should have been sitting. Victoria hadn't come either, in solidarity with them, apparently. Emma noticed immediately after the ceremony ended. "Where's Grandma and Grandpa?" she asked, scanning the crowd of families celebrating. I hugged her tight. "They couldn't make it, honey, but we're going to have an amazing dinner and they're so proud of you." The lie tasted bitter. Emma was too smart to believe it anyway, but she didn't push. She just hugged me back a little harder. At dinner, it was just us Derek's parents who'd flown in from Chicago, and Emma's best friend Rachel. We laughed, we toasted, we celebrated everything Emma had accomplished. But that empty chair at the table felt like a wound that wouldn't stop bleeding. Afterward, Derek's mom, Patricia, pulled me aside. "Are your parents all right?" she asked gently. I was surprised they weren't there. I'd always liked Patricia. She was direct but kind, the type of person who saw through nonsense. So I told her the truth. Her expression went from sympathetic to appalled. "They skipped Emma's entire graduation to spare another girl's feelings, Angelica. That's not how family works. That's how you create resentment and teach children that achievement doesn't matter." "I know," I whispered. "I know. What are you going to do about it?" I'd been asking myself the same question. For 3 days after the graduation. I didn't call my parents. They didn't call me either. Victoria sent a text that said, "Hope Emma had a nice day," with zero acknowledgement of what had actually happened. Then my mother called again. I almost didn't answer. "Angelica, your father and I have been discussing things," she began without preamble. "We think you owe Victoria an apology. She's very hurt that you prioritized your own daughter over your niece's emotional well-being. Family is supposed to support each other through difficult times." Something crystallized in that moment. A clarity I'd never had before. "Mom, I'm done." "Done with what?" "Done with this." I took a breath. Done with pretending that Victoria's constant need for attention is more important than celebrating actual accomplishments. Done with making myself smaller so she can feel bigger. Done with teaching my daughter that her achievements don't matter as much as someone else's feelings. I'm just done. "You're being selfish." "No, Mom. I'm being a good mother. Something you apparently forgot how to be, where I'm concerned a long time ago. Don't call me again until you're ready to apologize to Emma for missing one of the most important days of her life." I hung up. My hands were shaking, but I felt lighter than I had in years. Derek walked into the room. "Did you just—" "Yes," I said. "I just cut off my parents." He pulled me into his arms. "I'm proud of you." The next few weeks were strange. My phone stayed silent. No calls from my parents. No texts from Victoria. It was like I'd ceased to exist in their world the moment I stopped playing by their rules. Emma left for her orientation at SpaceX in early August 2024. Our house felt too quiet. I threw myself into my work as a dental practice manager, picked up extra hours, reorganized every closet in the house. Derek worried about me. I could tell, but I assured him I was fine. I wasn't fine. I was grieving the family I thought I had. Then, September 2024 came, and everything started shifting. Emma called me one evening, excited. "Mom, they're letting me work on a component for the Starship project. It's entry-level stuff, but I'm actually contributing to something that's going to go to Mars someday. Can you believe it?" I could believe it. I'd always known Emma was destined for extraordinary things. "That's incredible, sweetheart. I'm so proud of you." "I know you are," she said softly. "You've always been proud of me, even when I was struggling through calculus sophomore year and thought I'd never make it." We talked for an hour about her work, her new apartment in Hawthorne, the friends she was making. When we hung up, I felt that familiar mixture of pride and loss that comes with watching your child become independent. October brought an unexpected development. Derek got a massive promotion at his architecture firm. He'd been working on a sustainable housing project for low-income families in Los Angeles, and it had won a national award. Suddenly, he was being interviewed for architecture magazines, asked to speak at conferences. "This is surreal," he told me one night, looking at an invitation to present at a TED-style event. "I'm just a guy who likes designing buildings." "You're a guy who designs buildings that change lives," I corrected him. "You deserve this recognition." We'd always been comfortable financially, but the promotion came with a significant raise. Derek suggested we start looking at houses in better neighborhoods, maybe something with a real backyard and an office where he could work from home. The documentary about his project was already in production by then, and his profile in the architecture world was rising quickly. I agreed, though house hunting felt strange without being able to share the news with my parents. In November 2024, we found our dream home, a gorgeous 4-bedroom craftsman-style house in Pasadena with a yard full of lemon trees and a view of the San Gabriel Mountains. The price was steep, but Derek's new salary made it feasible. The day we got the keys, I wanted to call my mother so badly it physically hurt, but I didn't. I'd set a boundary and I was going to stick to it. Derek and I spent weekends painting walls, choosing furniture, turning this beautiful house into our home. Emma came to visit in December 2024 and declared it absolutely perfect. That same month, I got offered a partnership position at the dental practice where I worked. The owner, Dr. Martinez, was expanding to open a second location and wanted me to help manage both offices. It meant more responsibility, but also a substantial increase in income and real equity in the business. "You've been the backbone of this practice for 8 years," Dr. Martinez told me. "I can't imagine doing this without you." I accepted. Suddenly, Derek and I were both at peak points in our careers, living in a beautiful home, watching our daughter thrive in a job she loved. Life was genuinely good. Then Christmas 2024 arrived. I decided early on that we wouldn't be going to my parents' house for the holiday. Instead, Emma came home. Derek's parents flew out again, and we hosted our first Christmas in the new house. It was magical. We cooked together, played board games, watched old movies. Patricia helped me hang lights on the lemon trees in the backyard, and Derek's dad, Thomas, built a fire pit where we roasted marshmallows. On Christmas morning, surrounded by people who genuinely loved and supported us, I realized something. I didn't miss my parents. Or rather, I missed the parents I'd wanted them to be. But I didn't miss the reality of who they actually were. 2 days after Christmas, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. "Aunt Angelica." It was Amber, my niece. I hadn't heard her voice in 6 months. "Amber, hi. How are you?" "I'm okay." She sounded hesitant. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Did you really cut off Grandma and Grandpa because of me?" My heart sank. "What did they tell you?" "Mom said you had a big fight with them because they wanted to celebrate my high school graduation too, and you thought Emma was more important. But that doesn't sound like you. You've always been nice to me." I chose my words carefully. "Amber, I didn't cut anyone off because of you. I set a boundary because your grandparents chose to skip Emma's college graduation to avoid making you feel bad about not getting into Stanford. That's not your fault. That's their choice." Silence. Then, "They skipped Emma's graduation." "Yes, because of me," her voice cracked. "Not because of you, honey. Because they prioritized your mother's feelings over celebrating Emma's actual accomplishment. There's a difference." More silence. I could hear her breathing on the other end. "Amber, I didn't know," she whispered. "I knew they didn't go. But Mom said it was because you guys scheduled it at the same time as my graduation party or something. She said you were being selfish." Of course Victoria had lied. Why was I even surprised? "There was no scheduling conflict," I said gently. "Your party was 2 weeks before Emma's graduation." "Oh my God." Amber sounded like she might cry. "Aunt Angelica, I'm so sorry. Emma must hate me." "Emma doesn't hate you. Emma doesn't even blame you. This isn't about you, sweetheart. This is about the adults in your life making poor choices." We talked for a while longer. I learned that Amber was actually doing well at community college, that she was thinking about transferring to a Cal State school for nursing. I told her I was proud of her for finding her path, and I meant it. Before we hung up, she said, "Can I tell you something? I've been to Grandma and Grandpa's house 4 times since Thanksgiving. Every time Mom talks about how successful she is, how well I'm doing, how proud they should be of us. But Grandma just looks sad. And when I asked her about it, she said she missed you and Emma." "Then she knows how to reach us," I replied. "I think she's too proud to apologize. That's not my problem to solve anymore, Amber." After we hung up, I told Derek about the conversation. He just shook his head. "They're realizing what they lost. Good." January rolled around. Emma's 6-month review at SpaceX went so well that they gave her a raise and more responsibility. Derek's housing project was being featured in a documentary about innovative urban design. My new partnership was official, and the second dental office was on track to open in March. Life was genuinely thriving. Then in mid-January, Amber showed up at our house unannounced. I opened the door to find my 19-year-old niece standing on my porch looking nervous and determined. "Aunt Angelica, I need to talk to you. Can I come in?" I let her in. Derek made himself scarce heading to his home office with a supportive squeeze to my shoulder. Amber and I sat in the living room, the one with the big windows that looked out over the lemon trees. She kept looking around, taking in the hardwood floors, the custom built-in bookshelves, the framed photos of Emma's graduation on the walls. "Your house is beautiful," she said finally. "Thank you, we love it here." She took a deep breath. "I came because I need you to know the truth about something, and because I'm so angry at my mom and grandparents that I feel like I'm going to explode if I don't tell someone." I waited. "Mom's been lying to everyone about everything." Amber's hands were clenched in her lap. She told me and Grandma and Grandpa that you guys were struggling financially, that Emma's job wasn't that great, that Derek had gotten passed over for a promotion. She made it sound like you were barely getting by. My eyebrows shot up. She what? She's been painting this picture of you as this bitter, jealous person who cut off the family because you couldn't handle that I was getting attention. But last week, I was at the mall with my friend Jasmine, and we ran into Emma. We talked for like an hour. Aunt Angelica, she told me about her job, about this house, about Uncle Derek's award, and your partnership. None of it matches what Mom's been saying. Amber's eyes were shining with angry tears. So I did some Googling. I found articles about Uncle Derek's housing project. I found Emma's LinkedIn where she talks about working on literal spacecraft. And I realized my mom has been lying to make herself feel better about the fact that she's still working as a receptionist at a hair salon and living in Grandma's basement because she can't afford rent after the divorce. I sat very still processing this information. Victoria had moved back in with our parents. When had that happened? I confronted her. Amber continued. She tried to deny it at first, but I showed her the proof. And you know what she said. She said that it wasn't fair that you had everything when she'd had such a hard year, that you always got to be the perfect daughter with a perfect family while she struggled. That Grandma and Grandpa should have been supporting her, not enabling your selfishness. Amber wiped her eyes angrily. I told her she was being crazy, that you earned everything you have, that it wasn't Emma's fault or your fault that things didn't work out for her. And she kicked me out. Told me if I was going to side with you, I could just go live with you instead. Oh, Amber, I'm not here to ask if I can move in, she said quickly. I'm staying with my friend Jasmine's family for now. Her mom said it's fine. I just needed you to know that I see what really happened. And I'm so sorry for believing the lies. I moved to sit next to her on the couch, pulling her into a hug. She cried on my shoulder for a solid 10 minutes while I rubbed her back and told her it wasn't her fault that she had nothing to apologize for. When she calmed down, I made us both tea. We sat together and I told her the whole story from my mother's phone call before graduation to the moment I hung up and walked away from all of them. I can't believe they chose not to go to Emma's graduation, Amber said, shaking her head. That's so messed up. It was their choice, I said, just like it's my choice to maintain boundaries now. Are you happy? She asked suddenly. Like really happy. I thought about it. About Derek and his office designing buildings that would house families who needed them. About Emma sending me photos of rocket components with excited explanatory texts. About the dental practice and the trust Dr. Martinez had placed in me. About this house with its lemon trees and mountain views. Yes, I said honestly, I really am. Amber smiled, but it was sad. I think that's what Mom can't handle. That you're happy without them. That you didn't fall apart when they cut you off. You just built something better. She wasn't wrong. A week later, I got a text from my mother. The first communication in 7 months. We need to talk. Victoria is very upset and says you've been turning Amber against her. This has gone on long enough. I showed the text to Derek. He just laughed, though there wasn't much humor in it. They still think they have the power here, don't they? I texted back. Amber made her own choices based on Victoria's lies. If Victoria wants to repair her relationship with her daughter, that's between them. I'm not interested in talking unless you're ready to acknowledge what happened and apologize to Emma. My mother's response came an hour later. You're being unreasonable. Victoria is family. So am I wrote back. So is Emma. You chose Victoria's feelings over Emma's accomplishment. You don't get to decide now that I'm being unreasonable for having boundaries. She didn't respond. February 2025 brought more changes. Amber officially enrolled at Cal State Fullerton for their nursing program starting in the fall. She'd been staying with her friend Jasmine's family since Victoria kicked her out back in January. Jasmine's parents had welcomed her with open arms and refused to charge her rent, insisting she save her money for school instead. Amber came to Sunday dinners at our house a few times, slowly building a relationship with Emma. They'd never been close as cousins, but now they were finding common ground as adults who'd both been caught in family dysfunction. Emma, characteristically direct, told Amber straight out, I don't blame you for any of this. Our grandparents are the ones who chose to skip my graduation. That's on them, not you. Amber cried again. Emma hugged her, and something started healing between them. Meanwhile, in late February, Derek's documentary premiered at a film festival. The film had been in production for nearly a year, following his housing project from concept through completion, and winning the national award had become a pivotal moment in the narrative. We got dressed up and went to the screening watching footage of the housing development he designed. Interviews with families who had moved into his building's testimonials about how the sustainable design had lowered their utility bills and improved their quality of life. Sitting in that dark theater, watching my husband's face glow with pride on the screen as he talked about making architecture accessible and sustainable, I felt overwhelmed with love and gratitude. This was the life we built, not in spite of my family's rejection, but perhaps enabled by it. Without the constant drain of managing Victoria's feelings and my parents' favoritism, we'd been free to just thrive. In July 2095, after months of preparation, the second dental office opened. It was a massive success. Dr. Martinez credited me in his speech at the ribbon cutting, talking about my organizational skills and my ability to make patients feel valued and cared for. My name was on the building sign, Martinez and Chen Dental Associates. Derek took a photo of me standing under the sign, grinning like an idiot. He posted it to his public Facebook page with the caption, "Proud of this brilliant woman and everything she's accomplished." I rarely used Facebook anymore, but I logged in to see the comments. Dozens of congratulations from friends, colleagues, former dental school classmates of Dr. Martinez, and one comment from my mother. "That's wonderful, Angelica. We'd love to hear about it. Please call us." It wasn't an apology, but it was the first time she'd acknowledged any of my achievements since the falling out. I didn't call. A week later, my father called me. I stared at his name on my screen for 3 rings before answering. "Hi, Dad." "Angelica." His voice sounded older than I remembered. "I saw your mother's comment on Derek's post about your partnership. That's quite an achievement." "Thank you." Silence stretched between us. "Your mother wants you to know she's sorry about the misunderstanding regarding Emma's graduation." Misunderstanding. The word came out sharp. "Dad, you chose to skip your granddaughter's college graduation because Victoria didn't want Emma to be celebrated. That's not a misunderstanding. That's a choice." Victoria was going through a difficult time. Victoria is always going through a difficult time, Dad. And you and Mom always prioritize her drama over anyone else's actual accomplishments. Do you have any idea how that felt, to have you skip one of the most important days of Emma's life? We thought we were doing the right thing for the whole family. No, you thought you were doing the easiest thing for Victoria. There's a difference. He said, "Can we move past this? You're my daughter. Emma is my granddaughter. I don't want this distance between us." Then you need to actually apologize, not to me, to Emma. She's the one you hurt. I'll talk to your mother about that. You do that. Until then, I'm exactly where I need to be. I hung up feeling drained but resolute. April arrived with cherry blossoms and unexpected news. Emma called me at work, practically vibrating with excitement through the phone. "Mom, you cannot tell anyone this yet, but I need to tell you. SpaceX is sending me to Cape Canaveral for 6 months to work on integration for an upcoming launch. It's the biggest project I've been assigned to. This is huge." I literally screamed in my office. Dr. Martinez came running thinking there was an emergency. When I explained, he hugged me and declared we were closing early to celebrate. That evening, Derek opened champagne. We video called Emma and toasted her success, our faces glowing from the computer screens. Later, lying in bed, Derek said quietly, "Your parents don't even know, do they? They have no idea how extraordinary Emma's career has become." "No," I said, "they don't. They're missing all of it, and honestly, I think that's their loss completely." In May, Amber graduated from community college with high honors. She'd worked hard, raised her GPA, and secured her transfer to Cal State Fullerton. She invited Emma and me to her graduation. "I know it's not a big, fancy university," she said nervously, "but it means a lot to me. We'll be there," I promised. And we were. Victoria was there too. We didn't speak. She sat with my parents on one side of the gymnasium, while Emma and I sat with Amber's friends on the other. When Amber walked across the stage, I cheered louder than anyone. Afterward, Amber came to us first. She hugged me tight and whispered, "Thank you for coming. Thank you for celebrating me." "Of course, sweetheart. We're so proud of you." I watched my mother's face across the crowd. She looked stricken watching her granddaughter's embrace, knowing she'd chosen wrong. Victoria looked furious. The aftermath of Amber's graduation came swift and dramatic. 2 days later, I received an email from Victoria, not a text, a formal email. Subject: "We need to talk about your behavior." The email was 3 pages long. In it, Victoria accused me of manipulating Amber, of poisoning her against her own mother, of flaunting my alleged success to make Victoria feel inferior. She claimed I'd always been jealous of the attention she received, that I'd orchestrated this entire family rift to punish her for being Dad's favorite. The email ended with, "You need to apologize to Mom and Dad for your cruel treatment of this family. And you need to stop interfering with my relationship with my daughter. If you don't, I'll make sure everyone knows what kind of person you really are." I read it twice, then forwarded it to Derek without comment. His response: "She's completely delusional. Are you okay? I was more than okay. I was liberated. Because Victoria's email had finally shown me, in her own words, how deeply her narcissism ran. She genuinely believed she was the victim here. She genuinely couldn't see that her own lies and manipulation had destroyed her relationship with Amber. I didn't respond to the email. I didn't need to. 3 days later, my mother called again. Angelica, Victoria is very upset. She says you're turning Amber against her. Well, Mom, Amber is 19 years old. She makes her own decisions. If her relationship with Victoria is damaged, that's because of Victoria's lies, not anything I did. Victoria says you've been feeding Amber lies about our family. No, Mom. Victoria has been feeding everyone lies about me. Amber figured out the truth on her own. This family is falling apart because you won't let go of a grudge over a graduation. Something in me snapped. No, Mom. This family fell apart because you and Dad chose Victoria's ego over Emma's achievement. Because you've spent my entire life teaching me that my accomplishments don't matter as much as Victoria's feelings. Because you're still doing it right now, calling to defend Victoria instead of asking if what she's saying about me is even true. I did. Did you ever even ask Emma how she felt when you skipped her graduation? Did you apologize to her? Or did you just expect us to get over it because that's what I've always done? Silence. That's what I thought. Don't call me again until you're ready to actually address what happened. Not minimize it. Not make excuses. Actually take responsibility. I hung up. That evening, Emma called from Florida. Aunt Amber texted me. She said Grandma's been calling her trying to get her to admit you're manipulating her. How did Amber respond? She told Grandma the only person who manipulated her was her own mother, and that she's grateful to finally have family members who celebrate her instead of using her as a pawn. Then she blocked Grandma's number. Wow. Yeah, she's pretty fierce when she wants to be. I like this version of her. Me too, sweetheart, me too. June 2025 brought Emma's 1-year work anniversary at SpaceX. The company threw a small celebration for all the employees who'd reached their first year. Emma sent me pictures of the cake her team, the certificate she'd received. 1 year ago, you were walking across that stage at UCLA. I texted her, "Look how far you've come." Look how far we've all come, Mom. She was right. 16 months ago, I had been standing in my old house phone pressed to my ear, listening to my mother tell me my daughter's achievement didn't matter as much as my niece's feelings. Now I was standing in a beautiful home I'd helped buy, co-owner of a thriving dental practice, married to a man whose career was flourishing, mother to a daughter working on spacecraft. We built a life that required nothing from my parents or my sister. We built it on our own merit, our own work, our own love for each other. Just a few weeks ago, my father showed up at my office. No warning, no phone call. He just appeared in the waiting room, looking uncomfortable in his too formal suit. My receptionist buzzed me. "Dr. Chen, your father is here to see you." I considered turning him away. Instead, I had him brought back to my office. We sat across from each other, my desk between us, like a barrier. My last name is Chen. I kept my maiden name when I married Derek, and I'd earned that partnership through years of dedication to the practice. "Nice office," he said, looking around at the framed diplomas, the photos of Derek and Emma, the awards from the Dental Association. "Thank you. Your mother doesn't know I'm here." I assumed. He cleared his throat. "I came to apologize to you and Emma, if you'll allow me to. We were wrong. We handled everything wrong." I waited. "Victoria has always been difficult," he continued. "Your mother and I, we knew that. We thought if we just kept the peace, if we just gave in to her demands, things would eventually balance out. But we were wrong, and in trying to protect Victoria from her own failures, we failed you." His voice faltered. "We failed Emma. We should never have skipped her graduation." "Yes," I said simply. "You did. Can you forgive us?" I thought about it, really thought about it. "I don't know," I said honestly. "What you did hurt Emma deeply. It hurt me. And it showed me something about our family dynamic that I can't unsee. You've spent decades prioritizing Victoria's feelings over everyone else's reality. I can't go back to that." "I'm not asking you to. I'm asking for a chance to do better." "Talk to Emma," I told him. "She's the one you owe the real apology to. If she's willing to forgive you, I'll consider it. But Dad, I'm not going to pretend that everything's fine just because 16 months have passed. You missed something you can never get back. That has consequences." He nodded slowly. "I understand. Can I have her number?" I gave it to him. Whether Emma chose to answer was her decision. He stood to leave, then paused at the door. "For what it's worth, Angelica, I'm proud of you. I should have said that a long time ago. I'm proud of everything you've built." After he left, I sat in my office for a long time, looking out the window at the parking lot below, thinking about pride and family, and the strange ways we inherit patterns until we choose to break them. My phone buzzed. Emma, Grandpa just called me. Me, I know. Emma. He apologized. Like, really apologized. He said he was wrong, that he handled everything badly, that he's sorry for missing my graduation and for hurting me. Me. How do you feel about it? Emma. I don't know yet. But Mom, I'm glad he apologized. Even if I'm not ready to forgive him completely, I'm glad he finally acknowledged what he did wrong. Me, that's fair, sweetheart. Emma, Mom. Me, yeah, Emma. Thank you for standing up for me, for teaching me that I don't have to accept being treated poorly just because someone is family. You showed me what self-respect looks like. I wiped my eyes. Me, you never have to thank me for that, Emma. You've always been worth standing up for. After we hung up, I texted Derek. My dad apologized to Emma. His response, and I'm not sure what happens next, but at least it's a start. Whatever you decide, I am with you. That's the thing about building a new life. You get to decide its foundations. You get to choose who deserves a place in it and who doesn't. You get to set boundaries and maintain them even when people you love try to cross them. 16 months ago, my parents told me to diminish my daughter's achievement to protect my sister's ego. I chose my daughter instead, and in doing so, I chose myself. Victoria still hasn't apologized. Amber and I have lunch every other week now. She's working part-time as a nursing assistant at a hospital, loving it, counting down the days until she starts at Fullerton in the fall. My mother sent me a card for my birthday last month. Inside, she'd written, "I'm sorry for the time we've lost. I hope we can rebuild." I haven't responded yet. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. The difference is, now I get to decide on my own terms. Emma's launch assignment has been extended through the end of the year. Derek just got commissioned to design an entire sustainable housing development in San Diego. The dental practice is opening a third location. Life is good, really good. Not despite the distance from my family of origin, but perhaps because of it. Because sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is the freedom to build the life you deserve with people who celebrate your victories instead of resenting them. My parents wanted me to make myself smaller. Instead, I grew. And that, I think, is the best revenge of all. Update. Since posting this, a lot has happened. My mother called yesterday after reading through some family photos she'd found from when Emma and Amber were little. She cried on the phone, really cried, admitting that she'd let Victoria manipulate her for years, and that she was ashamed of missing Emma's graduation. She asked if we could meet for coffee. I said yes, not because everything is magically fixed, but because I'm willing to see if genuine change is possible. Derek thinks I'm being too generous. Emma says it's my choice and she'll support whatever I decide. As for Victoria, she sent me a friend request on Facebook last week. I haven't accepted it. Amber told me Victoria has been posting constantly about family betrayal and ungrateful relatives, which tells me she still hasn't learned anything. Some people never do. But me, I'm learning that forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean letting people back in who haven't done the work to change. It means releasing the anger so it doesn't poison your own happiness. I'm happy. Derek is happy. Emma is literally working on rockets. Amber is building a career in healthcare. We created this beautiful functional family unit from the ashes of dysfunction, and if my parents want to be part of it, they have to earn that place. No more free passes. No more excuses for Victoria. No more asking me to diminish myself or my daughter to spare someone else's feelings. Those days are over. I'm done making myself small. From here on out, I take up exactly the space I deserve.